Good evening, ladies. Welcome, welcome to this wonderful webinar all about inflammation. And I'm so gifted to be here with Dr. Sabine Wünschmann, who is a board certified gynecologist, but also a holistic gynecologist, and also studied lots of endocrinology and functional medicine, and really has a way of helping us join the dots to understand all of our symptoms and to understand really a better way of looking after our beautiful, magnificent female bodies. So here we're starting off again on the season of our autumn as we move into our winter months, so we can really focus and come back to the body, come back to our health. Hi, Dr. Sabine.
Hi, good evening, Canel. It's so good to be here and so nice to see your beautiful smile. Always lights up the room when you smile. That's really lovely. Very nice to be back. I think, kids are back at school and, the extra curricular frenzy has been solved. So hopefully everybody's back in a rhythm that works for each and everyone. I hope you're not back in the rat race, because this is the thing that we really want to avoid. And I mean, being a gynecologist and specializing on female endocrinology, which means that all the hormonal issues that appear at any stage of our life, I really would like to shed some light on what I always say, the inflammaging. So this is something that I really like a lot. So it's like inflammation, getting married to aging. So inflammaging. And this is really something that thankfully has really received a lot of attention. I think it was even the cover picture on Time magazine and a couple of weeks ago. So everybody talks about chronic inflammation. I'm really happy about it because it is about time. And, we need to really differentiate very much between infection, which is an acute process. You caught a virus, or you were stung by an insect and you have an infectious reaction or on your skin at the site of infection of the site of the bug biting you. So there's this acute infection where the body's actually been designed and trained to take care of this kind of invaders, if you may say so. There's like bacteria, virus, an imbalance of your microbiome or whatever, and it really really spirals the infectious response soldiers onto the scene. So you have the initial swelling, and then you have redness, you might have a bit of fever, and then you have even pus developing, which is the yellow liquid, that we can, all of you, I'm sure, have seen on your tonsils, or in spots that are really infected and painful. So this is the infection cascade that really happens in our body, and we're so equipped for it. And if our immune system is well, in a good shape, then we can deal with this kind of infections and go through the process of autophagy. So it means that it kind of self restores, and we have the chain of T cells and white cells and C-reactive protein, and then we have the cells that are actually collecting the debris that has been created with the infection, and then everything goes back to normal. So this is infection. But if we talk about inflammation, is actually like a chronic process that happens in our body, which is a sign, of a chronic dysfunction. It's a chronic inflammation, which is something that has to do very much with our lifestyle. And the word chronic is actually the problem with it, because we're not designed to live in a state of inflammation for years and years, and we're not designed to really deal with that. So that is as a result of the chronic inflammation, we get all these, diseases that are around and that we see so often with our patients. So, I mean, the most common condition that is usually given when nobody knows anymore what it is, that would be the fibromyalgia, which is something that I hear more and more. So everybody really feels pain everywhere. So it's your muscles are hurting, your joints are hurting, your head cannot be turned. It's really painful doing all of that. So, in this state of inflammation, and then also calling inflammaging, is really something that is self-induced, it's lifestyle induced, it's food induced, it's alcohol induced, it's drug induced. It's really everything. Hold on just a second. Excuse me, Stelio. It's everything that we are really anticipating on a daily basis. And we always say it's aging, and it is definitely also part of an aging, but it is also a very, very difficult and chronic process that really takes our body out of the optimal function of the organ. So it's really something that, the liver becomes sluggish, the joints become painful, the skin becomes dull, the hair becomes, you know, falls and has no shining and has no sponge, no sponginess, and it's something that really you can feel on a daily basis. So for chronic inflammation, if we would do a thermogram, which is a machine that we use quite a lot in holistic medicine, where we actually take an X-ray of the body, and not an X-ray, we take a picture of the body. It's not an X-ray, it has no radiation. And actually the thermogram can pick up if there are heated areas in the body, which would then be a sign of the inflammation. So if we do a thermogram and we see the whole body lit up, or we see the hips lit up, the shoulders lit up, the neck lit up, and all of that, it's really a sign, that the body's in chronic inflammation. I mean, this is something I see every day. I mean, people are tired. They are tired but wired. They cannot sleep. They wake up in the morning, they're drained. They don't have the energy really to motivate themselves. It's something that is really like almost the silent epidemic of our lifetime. And because we do also live so much longer, and we have such an amazing gift, which is the much longer lifespan, we also live much longer in this phase of inflammation. So this is really something that is very, very subtle. There's no marker as such that you can say, I do this such and such blood test and I find it. It's very, very subtle. And it's really has to do with the collagen and with the soft tissue and with the softness and smoothness, how the tissue move against each other. And if we are exposed to this chronic stress in our life, and we really, this is not something we're built for. I mean, we can pull up a slide which shows you a little bit the cortisol, which is the hormone that is produced by the body, by the adrenal glands, that is actually produced in order to fight and flight, to show, to sh- to sh- to shut off, an animal, or be hunted, or a war or something, and then go back to normal. It's not something that is created to be constantly in need. So if you see here on this beautiful slide that I really like so much, and it really personifies the cortisol steal effect, also the pregnenolone steal effect. You see that when I need much more cortisol in order to survive, the aldosterone and the progesterone, they are really sacrificed here. So And you see so many women when they're in this stress phase and in the inflammation and the perimenopause and the menopause, that they see also suddenly that their cholesterol is increased, and they all go, "Oh my God, what's happening? I mean, I eat exactly the same. I haven't changed any food habits, and suddenly my cholesterol is totally out of whack." And the reason is that, the body realizes in its beautiful state of always wanting to be in the homeostasis, that there's not enough of hormones around. There's not enough estradiol, there's not enough progesterone, not enough cortisol. So as an automatic reaction, the cholesterol gets increased. So it's very most often in these contexts, this is not something that is really, has anything to do with what you eat. So unfortunately, at a lot of patients at that stage in their life, they get then put on statins, which actually reduces the cholesterol even more. So there's even less raw material available for the body to compensate. And all of this is really this spiral that gets you deeper, deeper, and deeper into the inflammation. I mean, cortisol steal effect. Don't take stress, lightly. It is really something that is very, very much on our daily schedules and on our daily life. It's a state of being normal that we are stressed. And the stress doesn't have to be a big event, doesn't need to be, the loss of a loved one or, a car accident or anything like horrendous. It's really very, very important how you perceive the individual stress moment. So for you to go to the dentist is like a big stressful event, then the demand for your cortisol in order to survive this event is going to be so much bigger. If you have a work at work, you have an unfortunate condition and you have somebody that constantly, bullies you or is on your back, this is something that will perceived by the body as a chronic stress, and that will then bring you into this metabolic situation of having so much more need of cortisol. So I mean, what we have seen in our many years of working together with Canelli, we have seen that one of the big changes that you can make in your life is really the food, and is really what you put in your abdomen and your mouth, and what gets digested, and what side effects the right or the wrong foods have. So we have seen really that women that they couldn't move their head and that they were stiff and they had like all these joint pains, if they have followed our Hormone Harmony program, suddenly all these things were gone and they couldn't believe it. So it's really, the exercise is so important, but the diet, and Canelli is obviously the best to talk to us about it, because it's so, so, so important that we make the right choices, that we get out of this vicious circle of inflammation.
I mean, what's beautiful, Dr. Sabine, is it starts with the food, but it's not only the food. Now, when we come together, right, and do this program, and I mean, you've been through stuff, I go through stuff in my life. We're all women, we're all going through stuff, right? We're going through children leaving, parents dying. We're not, we're also going through it, right? We see hundreds of patients, women that are caretaking their parents, they're looking after their kids, they're running their kids here, there, they're trying to hold down jobs, they're getting fired from jobs, they're being breadwinners. I mean, there's all sorts of things in this. In last years, we went through the pandemic, we saw, women, mothering kids at home and trying to, do everything
Work
and
at the same time.
work at the same time, and being the cooks and and so we have many roles. I'm now also helping a friend who's in the UK. Her mother's dying slowly in the hospital, and she's doing the round the clock thing, and she's got a daughter, and then she's trying to help the father. And, we have to suddenly turn ourselves into a million pieces. And all of that takes a toll. So what happens in our program is suddenly we come together, and suddenly now there's a space for this woman that has to be everything to everybody, and she comes into the program and she now gets to be herself, and we give her permission to be herself, where she can just bond with other women and see actually, wow, all women have the same stuff going on. And you almost get to befriend your inner victim, right? Because we've got that inner victim was like, oh, life's tough, life's tough for me. But when we come together, we kind of go, wow, like actually it's tough for everybody. And then we get to flip the story. So yes, we start with the food because the food is the gateway to go in and help the body. But once we take the food away, then we get in touch with the emotion. What is the emotion that the food is there to numb? Right? We really want to look at that, because when we know with women, as soon as they get stressed, where do they go? To the fridge.
To the fridge.
And it's all chemistry, right? Your body goes, oh, I want chocolate, or I want bread, or I want. And when you're running on those fumes, you normally want the bad carbohydrates, right? The chocolate bar, and there's no judgment, and we're all wired the same way. We're all humans, so we all go through it. But we actually start to learn amazing things. And just by taking out certain foods, then you get in touch with your emotions. Then you feel the connection, the oxytocin of women coming together. This is the beautiful thing, is that when women hang out together, they age better, they live longer, their hearts are stronger. These are all scientific studies that have happened because they feel that bonding and that sense of community. And we need community. We really, really thrive. We are the creatures that thrive in community. And so, yeah, I think that's what happens, is the inflammation starts to come down. And we do all sorts of funny things, like we learn about things like grounding. Go put your feet on the soil and get your body quickly in a state of non-inflammation. When you can connect to the electromagnetic frequencies of the earth, automatically the body, and we do wonderful detoxes. But mostly it's the coming together and feeling heard, seen, understood, and celebrated, because most women don't. They feel unappreciated, right? They're slaved away in the kitchen. They made the wonderful meal. Nobody was there to say, wow, Mom, that was absolutely fantastic. Thank you. You gobbled it up in 5 minutes. And once women feel the sense of calm and all the stress goes, then the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system, we know now, can start to function better. And then our organs can start to function better. And then they really, we see it within 8 days, 8 to 10 days, I normally get, oh, I feel a lot more peaceful. Suddenly they feel peace. They didn't sign up for peace, but they got peace as a bonus. And we love humor and we love having fun. Girls just want to have fun, right? That song of Cyndi Lauper all those years ago. And they do, and women want to dance and they want to have music, they want to bring people together. We are the most wonderful creatures on this planet. And if we are not healthy, the world will not go round. I'm sorry to say, right? We can see
But
what.
it's always, frightening to see that, we take our bodies so much for granted, just because the body's there and it started functioning when we were born and, thankfully carried us through our lives doesn't mean that it will do that forever. And what's the goal here? The goal is really that we want to optimize our body function, and we want to optimize the aging process and age gracefully. That's the target here. I mean, of course, we all have, our wrinkles and our sagging and all these things that appear, but it's just so much less if you really look after yourself, and that you really, take also the symptom language that your body tries to speak to you for serious, because it seems like, okay, my hip hurts, my knee hurts, my shoulder hurts. I go to the orthopedic, I take painkillers, and that's it. Nobody has really understood the language. That's chronic inflammation. There's an inflammation process that's going on that really tells me something. So in order to reboot yourself and reset your system, you need to go through a detoxifying process. You need to really do a little bit of fasting. and really, take yourself by the hand and look after yourself, and only you can do that, nobody else, unfortunately.
And 99% of our women all come back saying the same thing, that I thought it would be way more difficult. Like once they actually start, I mean, if I'd said to somebody, well, you're going to climb up Kilimanjaro, they'll say to me, no ways, I won't be even able to go up the hill, right? But we don't do it all at once. And actually, the brain is a very funny thing because it always tells you, oh, you can't do that, or it's going to be difficult or hard or anything. But we all come into the program together. Everybody's starting at zero. And what 99% of our women always say is that it was way easier than they actually thought. And they feel so proud afterwards because just think of it as we're not taking away anything severe. We're just using a time period to reset the body, and the body is great, right? Once you get out the way, the body knows how to go into homeostasis, and it doesn't
Absolutely.
it doesn't take much. It really, really doesn't take much. So we highly encourage, give yourself the time, little spaces in life to reduce inflammation. And I mean, I will put on a slide just to talk about little ways that we can do it, which is simple. Right now, we all know what to do, but the question is, will we do it and can we do it? So, I mean, and I know that women try their best, right? They really, really want. So, first place is to look at gut function and to actually get the gut to start to optimize. In other words, let's get the gut to stop bloating first of all, stop having wind. Actually, wind is not a natural thing, and this is what women say on the program. Like, I just thought it was natural to be, letting go of wind all the time, but it's not. Once you know how to eat the right foods and eat them at the right time, that'll go. And then also sleep starts to optimize. Suddenly, that waking up at 3, 4 in the morning. I mean, I spoke to a lady the other day and she was saying, it's just ridiculous. I'm waking up at 3, 4, I'm waking up again at 6. It,
5.
it's terrible. And it's all day moodiness, cranky, short-temperedness. And we want to optimize our nutrition. A lot of the times, women don't understand that when you're highly stressed, you don't have enough vitamin B to support your nervous system. And so sometimes there's a few little things that we can help with, chronic headaches. Again, are you missing magnesium? Are you missing what's happening in your system? And then what I love about the way Dr. Sabine, you work is that you often, when you look at just supporting the body with herbs and supplements, you may go to bioidentical hormones, you may not. I mean, you really, really work on an individualized way,
Personalized, yeah.
personalized way with each woman.
Mm.
And then we want to be moving, right? We want to be moving. We want to walk more. We want to move more. You want to take your dog out for a walk. You want to go with a girlfriend and chat. We often have ladies doing things together because it's more fun. And then enjoy any of the lymphatic drainage, like do your weekly. There are places that you can go for a 20 euro massage. So get one every week if you have to, and time it between your menstruation and between your ovulation so that you're helping your hormones. And these are great ways to assist a reduction of inflammation. And of course, we want to take away the problem makers, right? I mean, there are some problem makers that we're not saying you'll never drink another drink again, but for a time period, like if you need to have it every day, then your body's already in a state of inflammation because it's already giving you a craving every day. Oh, it's my time for wine, right? Or it's my time to have a drink. So just as long as we start to bring these down, we don't say you're never going to another party again. There's no such thing. We're all human living a human experience. We want to have fun, but let's first get the body, into a place.
Optimized.
Yeah.
And also with that program, what I find is so useful, and I hear it from the patients again and again, from the women that have done it, that they really learn the tools in that program to actually to do it again. So let's say you had like a week of partying and you were out every night and you really feel bloated and dull and stiff and painful. You know what to do. You just go 2 weeks on a liver detox. So you've done it before, you know how it works. So it is very important also to know how to interpret your body's language. You know, what does it need? And the reason that our program is also quite lengthy is that we want, you know, we want to give the organism and the body the time to reboot and to this cannot happen in 2 days. So this is something that, you know, you need balancing and you need to readjust and everything. So yeah, I mean, I can only say come and join us with the Hormone Harmony program. It's really beautiful, a beautiful, beautiful thing. Bring a friend, bring a cousin, bring a partner from work or whatever, or come by yourself, whatever it is worth it for you, and join us and join the community that wants to really optimize and increase the you know the well-being and make your body work really at its optimum. That is really the most important thing.
Yeah, and we're also turning back the clock, right? We often we say in about week 8, around there, the environment starts saying to the ladies,
What
"What have
did you
you
do?
what have you been doing? You look like you've
So much
just so
younger.
much younger." And because we know through epigenetics and nutrigenomics that we can completely reset our cells, we clean up our
Mm.
cells, and they do not do this. I like what you said before, Dr. Sabine, the inflammaging, right? We can
Mhm.
actually go right back to how we were when we were younger because we're cleaning. It's like, we take our cars for a clean and we feel
Mm.
amazing afterwards. Oh gosh, they had a very nice clean. Or you have your home cleaned, but then we're not really good with understanding how can we clean up our body, how can we clean up our hormonal system, how can we clean up our
Mm.
organ function so that it's not
Mm.
sluggish. So I'm going to put all
Absolutely.
the details below and in the chat of when we're running our next one now in October. So you can come and join us so that we can also be done just before Christmas. So you don't have to, you can go join your Christmas gatherings and be great and skinnier, brighter. You'll have turned back your
More
clock,
radiant.
more
Mm.
radiant, better mood, less snappy.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And we all hope to see you very much, and very soon in our Hormone Harmony program. Be well. Bye-bye. Bye.